Good morning, Pete. Congratulations on being the very first senior bridge inspector to get through the registration process.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about your experience. So I'd just like to start with asking you to introduce yourself.
Pete Hemsley. I'm an inspections manager, a senior and corporate engineer at Aecom. Started work back in 1974, it was, straight from school, with a road construction unit as a design technician.
So just generally working in the industry with roads and structures and so on, it attracted you to become an inspector, bridge inspector?
I think I actually fell into bridge inspections, actually. The role came up as I was working, the start was I was working, I was finishing, and I was up with, I'd go back into the office, carry on doing office stuff, or it was up on the Area 7, Area 14 it was sorry, back then, which was Derbyshire, one of the HA Max back then, just setting up the team.
Yeah.
He said, come along, we need somebody with some CAD experience and some general bridge experience.
Yeah.
So I went along and I started off working on the schemes, because they set the schemes up first before they got the inspections running.
Yeah.
So they set the schemes running. Oh, we need somebody to help with inspections. So I did some general inspections and took a few principal inspections and did some more inspections, and then kind of went by the board and I just did inspections.
Lovely. So through all that experience, then you built up a team and you managed that team.
Yes. When the contract at Area 14 finished in 2002, Scott Wilson won Area 7, which was a revamped area, which was Area 14 plus extras. And I went into there and we developed it and I became inspection manager. And we had 7 or 8 inspectors back then. And most of them have come back now and still working here.
Yes.
A couple stayed behind with us, but we stayed there until 2002, managed the programme,
yes.
managed the team, plus we did extra inspections outside that, so we got experience working for other clients as well as doing that. We kept this being part of Scott Wilson, we're still getting people who want inspections doing.
Yeah.
So we got to work on some fantastic projects.
And there's room for people to grow, so they can come in as a trainee and move on to bridge inspector and senior bridge inspector.
Yes, we've taken people on, graduates from within the bridges team themselves, and we've actually taken on apprentices.
Yeah.
And we've taken people on from outside with other experience and we've brought them in.
Brilliant. So, as part of this new bridge inspector certification scheme, you were asked to fill in an e-portfolio online. Can you share some of your experiences in how easy or how difficult that may have been for you to complete?
Filling the portfolio is very comprehensive.
Yeah.
And I think it works well. It gets all the areas that you need to be for doing inspections. I think it works. Yeah. So all the 7 sectors there, they work very well. Filling it in for me, because I went straight from experience. I did not fill in any. Yeah. I didn't do any of the training courses or anything like that set up. I just went into it and I just sat down with the portfolio and I just looked at the question 1 and I just went straight out of it. So
you were applying your experience that you've gained over the years to completing each section of the portfolio.
Yes. No, I did it as a standalone, basically. I think it was just with my experience. If I could do it, others should be able to do it, even if they need a bit of training. If I can do it from what I know, then we're doing something right at least anyway, because we're trying to pass all the knowledge on. But I just took my knowledge and just applied it. Yes. And there was a little bit of refresher work back there, because I was looking at the questions, I've done that, and you start thinking about it, I've done some of that. And you just look at the questions because you're not quite sure what section, what section answer the next. I just sort of took it one section at a time. So I didn't read through all the questions, and then I just do it. Tackled it one at a time. And I just kept on working through it.
What sort of evidence did you use to support the portfolio?
A I've got lots of different types of bits of evidence I use. I've got some previous reports from some of the inspections we've done, the types of inspection we've done. I've got evidence of managing inspections and schemes. All sorts of different photographs in there. We do we're looking at the team as well, the health safety side of the guidance. We've got guidance notes, which I've helped develop over the years and put a lot of work into doing those. So I use that as evidence as well because not how I worked. So the boss back then, who was in charge of that, he was very into training, and he instilled that into me what we've got to do. So I've taken my lead from him.
And that included the health and safety.
Health and safety. So I became the health and safety the team back then, and he sort of passed it on to me. I looked after all that and managing all the documents. And he was sort of like Lucy's the big head of the team, and I just kept running it, and developing and adding to it. And he's still coming up this one. So I just kept.
So continual improvement.
That's right. It was, it's PD really on everything. Every time we do it, and then the lads could do it. But we have lots of information which I've got to redo again now because I've not changed it from the RS to the Aecom, so I've got to redo it. But there's lots of things when doing this that I can now put in to make those guidance notes even more comprehensive because every time we find something, I add it to it. So this has brought a lot back.
Given you a little bit of a framework to help you going forward.
So it's a refresher as well for things that I've forgotten. You know, if you've forgotten it, I can bring that. It's a beautiful place to be able to do that. So that's my next task is to do that.
Super. So now that there is this requirement for the new bridge certification scheme, and it's asking you to demonstrate your knowledge against knowledge and experience for the 7 core competencies, how do you feel that this does benefit you and your company? I mean, you have just said that part of it gives you a framework to go forward, but are there any other ways that it benefits you and the company?
Well, I think it's a joint benefit in some respects. The major one is that it puts inspectors, you put all the inspectors for all the companies on a level footing for a start. And it makes them, I wouldn't say more competent in that respect because a lot of people know what they're doing already. It makes them more of it gives the industry an understanding of what inspectors can do because they are what can be just cast to one side. People have got a lot of assets they want looking after. The last thing they want to do is spend money on inspections. But they've got to realise and understand that it is important for inspections to be carried out. Because that is maintaining the asset that they've got, and they've got to spend the money on it. And if they've got competent inspectors and they know that they've got people with the right qualification, they're going to be listened to. And it is, instead of just wording out trying to find the right inspector, if we get somebody who doesn't do a very good inspection, they're not going to do much about it. And the asset then can suffer. So I was about an interview, you're asking me about what's an inspection, what's it all about, what's it do. That inspection tells you what that structure's like at that time. And then the owners have got the onus then of getting on with it. So having this qualification means that the people are all singing from the same hymn sheet, basically. They are all.
So it gives it a benchmark.
That's right, it gives a benchmark, and they can go on from there.
Super.
Aecom values inspectors, and it knows the value of the inspection regime in the fact of quality rather than quantity. This scheme sets that benchmark, and it knows that the quality is right there, and having the right staff, which are all qualified and got the right competencies, can then only be a benchmark for the whole industry. As I say, people who just do things and try and do things cheaply miss mistakes, and this could be critical. It could be life-threatening, and inspections are a critical thing, and this is borne out by historic instances, which I could give examples of. M6, M4, M14. So Aecom do want to produce and promote good inspectors and be the forefront of any system where this will happen. So the VIX is a good system for that.
I feel to be the first certified senior bridge inspector in the UK and Ireland.
I won't answer the box at that point.
You can.
Obviously, I'm proud to have gone through that, and I didn't realise at first I was going to be the first one through when I just did it.
Yeah.
And that's what he said afterwards. And when I was doing the interview, I was getting the questions, I was getting the funny looks from both the assessors. I said, I could be the first one here on this one, I'm not sure about it. But then he said afterwards, obviously, it's nice to know that I've done it, and I've obviously done it in the time scale that's needed, and I've actually got the skills that are required. So it's nice to know what I've been doing for all these years is right.
And it's been validated and right, recognised. Yeah.
And hopefully, from now, I won't be so lonely. Everybody will come through. There'll be lots of other people now following up.
But it'll help in. I presume it will help in gaining contracts as well.
Oh, it will. Yes. I know that there's other people in the company who are asking me how I've got on, because they are doing jobs and they are telling me that what they do will be useful for them, because I think they've got their portfolio.
Yeah.
And they want to know how to do it, so I've got to give them guidance now.
Yeah.
And they've seen that people that they're working for are looking for this. So already it's started.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but it'll be a snowball effect. The more people that get it, the more people will want it.
Yes.
So this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully, respondents will go through it soon.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time and sharing your experiences with us. And we're hoping that this will also help other people that are applying to become registered inspectors. So thank you.
Thank you.